Welcome back to another video, welcome back to the Bradford City rollercoaster. Another defeat, a 3-0 thrashing against Derek Adams' boys in Morecambe. And I say that because it is a very youthful Morecambe squad who, let's be honest, a lot of them are unproven and a lot of them aren't particularly any good. But they were today because we were terrible. It's one of those where were we bad or were they good? But let me know your thoughts in the comments down below on that absolute shambles of a performance. I want to know your thoughts. If you don't normally comment on videos, do comment on this one. I want to gather all sorts of opinions on today's thrashing because we're being humble today and there's so many different thoughts and opinions. Everyone will have a different opinion that will go into a different opinion to someone else. You know, someone might be blaming Mark Hughes, someone might be blaming Stephen Rook for not investing, someone might be blaming Ryan Sparks, Stephen Gent, just players. You know, there's so many different alleyways that people can go in. I want to understand what everyone's thinking at this moment. Like the video if you do go on to do so, and subscribe if you're new as well. But where do you start? It's just another Bradford City weekend, I suppose, where you don't have a clue what's coming next. We've gone and lost 3-0 to Morecambe. I will start off with, we are now 18th with 4 points from a possible 12, which is probably somewhere near relegation form, showed by the league table, I suppose. Not a good start to the League 2 campaign, and we're in a mess, to be honest with you, because we keep having these sort of days where we don't turn up. We have professional footballers who you struggle to actually call them professional footballers, and you think that you can do better than some of them on occasions. You've got a manager whose tactics you can't get on board with, and chops and changes. I mean, last season, if I just take you very quickly to the 2022-23 campaign, we played a 4-2-3-1. We played with wingers. We got a lot out the defensive duties. We were very solid at the back, quite hard to beat, and we kept a lot of clean sheets by building our foundations at the back. We needed more in midfield. We needed more from our wide players because we were relying on Costello, Nevers, to have a decent game because Banks were the only performing winger when Tariq Wright won in the football club, and then Andy Cook providing all the goals. So we probably looked at that. We looked at right. We need to replace Critchlow, bring in one centre back, maybe bring in an attacking left back, and then two wingers and an attacking sort of box number 8. And we've absolutely ripped all the things we had up last season and gone again. And we needed evolution, not revolution. We got told we want a flexible squad, a squad that can adapt. We've completely ripped up what we had last season. I mean, actually, this whole squad today, only 2 of them weren't signed by Mark Hughes, and only one of them in the actual playing squad, in Andy Cook, was the only player who wasn't signed by Mark Hughes, the other one being Rydau, who was on the bench. Which goes to show that Mark Hughes can't have any problems with this squad that he's got, because he's built it. With Stephen Gent, with Ryan Sparks, with Hodges, Truman, and all the coaching staff, this is a squad they built, and they should believe that this squad is good enough. They should have believed that the 3-4-3, 3-5-2, 3 at the back was good enough after pre-season, after thinking about it before pre-season, and coming into a season with the first 5 games that we've had. They should be believing that this formation is the one that can get us into a top 3 and out this league to show progress, and it's not. It's just not. And the squad they built is just worse than last season. You've got 3 clowns at the back who are, I mean, that penalty, it's just pub defending from Liam Rydau. I might as well stick with that. What were the substitutions we made today? McDonald on at half time. I had a big problem with that because, okay, we're moving away from the 3 at the back. That's good because Hughes isn't being stubborn. He's trying to be a bit more on the front foot, going to the 4. But then why small with a McDonald in a midfield pivot? You need someone who's more creative and someone who can open doors. We have 2 players who have the key to pass to the person who can open the door, and that's a problem when you don't have someone who can open the door. Odra, Patterson, and Poynton were the only 3 players who put any effort, desire, and commitment into that performance. They can only come out the game with they'll die. Everyone else either didn't take the chances, weren't in the right places for the chances, didn't put enough effort in, or were just generally quite poor. And you can really struggle to call them professional footballers after that game. But like I say, on the substitutions, the triple substitution of Halliday, Rydau, Poynton. I mean, Poynton, I was delighted when I saw he was coming on. but he came on with Halliday and Rideout, like for like replacements. And I actually thought, to be fair, on his debut, Richards had a very good debut. Really solid, creative down the left flank, got 2 good crosses in that weren't met by anyone, and he looks promising. So I'm excited by that signing now. I'm a bit unsure when he got announced, but I'm actually delighted that he's joined because he looks like he could keep Rideout at the team. Until Liam Rideout came off the bench and gave away, well, he didn't give away the penalty, I think it was Platt or Stubbs, but effectively didn't know what. It was like when you're playing FIFA or something and you don't know what the stand tackle button is. He was just standing there, and he don't want to put a tackle in. He's just dreadful. I don't know what Hughes sees in him. Every game he comes into a team, and it depresses me when I see him starting or even coming off the bench. But on Hughes, also on him, the boring tactics. We're really deep when we don't have the ball, and when we have the ball, we're way too slow on it. There were parts in the Stockport game where I was quite pleased with the performance on the ball, where we moved the ball quite quickly, and then other points we just moved it way too slow again, like last season. And same with Colchester, there was a period where we were really good, moving the ball quickly. I think he came out after a game you said we didn't have any craft or guile. Well, that was clear to see. There were no idea of how to break this Morecambe team down. And I said in the preview, we're going to have to play a team. We've got to get a squad of players out there who know how to break down a low block. And we knew that last season. We knew what we needed to recruit, and we haven't. I thought we were playing a three at the back in pre-season to start pressing teams, to get up in that teams, to get tight, to not give them a second's moment to think, to become this pressing machine. But I thought that's what we were training to be. And it's just turned out to be get 3 big centre backs at the back, so we don't concede a lot of corners, and that worked against Stockport, didn't it? We changed to a 4-2-3-1, moving away from the 3 at the back, and then, like I say, Patterson, Odra and Poynton looked good, but they didn't know what to do when they got the ball, and that's the big problem, isn't it? When you're playing a football match, if you don't know what to do when you've got the ball. So there's a lot of improvement we need to do, and there's been loads of questions going around on social media. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below as well. As always, I want to know what you think on this performance and the result. Were we lucky last year? With Cook and Lewis consistently performing and keeping us in games, and you've got Cook scoring 31 goals and Lewis, barely conceding many and making some huge saves. Were we lucky with them? Was it just a lucky season if Derek Adams inherited those players and got them performing the way they did? Would there been any difference? I think there would have, because he don't handle himself in interviews, and to be honest, he genuinely hates us, doesn't he? I mean, what type of manager, no matter how much stick you're getting from the fans that you've previously managed, who goes and waves them off with that smug little face that he's got, but so punchable anyway? I don't promote violence. But yeah, Mark Hughes, I wasn't Mark Hughes out yesterday, so I'm not Mark Hughes out tonight. I think that's the best way I can put it. I don't want to jump on the bandwagon. I don't just want to say, get him out of our club, because if I didn't feel that strongly yesterday, then I'm not going to feel that strongly tonight. My view is I'm going to give him 5 games to see if we've progressed, to see if we've shown any improvement on and off the ball. And for me, that starts against Crewe. I'm not really counting Wrexham, and that runs all the way to Newport for me. And if we show improvement then in results, performances, and the way Mark Hughes goes about his team selections and seeing games out, and his substitutions, then I will be committed to Mark Hughes being in, or committed to Mark Hughes being out. And then I do quickly just want to touch on it, because it probably deserves to be a full video in itself. Obviously Stephen Rupp's going around, and to be honest with you, how I said with Mark Hughes was yesterday, I probably have been Stephen Rupp out for quite a while, because I was a bit blind to it. But when someone's not putting any money into the club, Ryan Sparks even came out in the interview I think Tom McDermott did with the season with Bradford City on Spotify. If you haven't watched that, it's very good. With the podcast, he did come out and say that he hasn't, somewhat along the lines of he hasn't received any money from Rupp to spend on players, and we're very much self-sustainable, which we all know that as fans anyway. And the problem with Stephen Rupp is it's very divisive in the fan base. Some love him, there will be some like him, some aren't too fussed. The ones who like him, I suppose, which I can see that the respect that he didn't sell us to Crawley, and we aren't Bowie, we aren't what many other teams aren't, and we are a club that's stable. but we're not going to go anywhere, and I think that's my stance on it. If we want to progress and if we want to push up the divisions, we need to show a bit of ambition, and that we're not going to show that under Stephen Rupp, and that's why, for me, looking at it, we do have this continuation of not progressing and constant seasons of either decent season or failed season, and that's because of how we won from top to bottom, in my opinion. But of course, let me know your thoughts on it in the comments down below. So I will quickly do my match ratings. I won't waste any of your time. Harry Lewis gets a 0, Matty Platt gets a 0, Kelly gets 0, Stubbs gets 0, Smith gets 0, Smallwood gets 0, Oyegoke gets 1 because of slight improvement, and Andy Cook gets 1 because he didn't get too many chances, to be fair to him. Odrat, Pattison and Poynton all get 3s because they showed a good amount of passion and they showed a period of amount of quality in the game. The rest of them, a lot of them didn't show an ounce of passion, to be honest, from what I saw. They'll say otherwise, but they'll know that the players who didn't do well today, they'll know themselves. They weren't good enough. They didn't show enough quality in the final third, a few of them. And, the back line's just all over the place. I can't describe it anywhere. Oh, Richards, I'll give a 3 as well, because it's his debut and he did look promising going forward, and I do like the look of him. Big improvement on Rido as well. But the back 3 as a unit isn't good enough. Got to move away from it, in my opinion. Kelly on the ball I like, but he's just so rash. Can't win a header for his size, and he's quite poor. Stubbs and Platt were clowns at the back in that second half. One of them conceded a stupid penalty. I don't normally do this, but only Poynton gets a 3 because he was brilliant. He's got to start Saturday. I don't want to see any of this. Oh, he's young. He needs to get time to come into a team. He looked like a quality League 2 player. He came in. He wanted the ball. He created chances. Looked to pass forward all the time. He lost the ball. He'd track back and try and win it as quick as possible. And that's exactly what you want from a player. And he looks like he could become a really exciting player for us. And we've got to start creating pathways for players as well. Coming from the youth team, we've had some good players in the youth academy that's moved up into other elite academies across England, which I'm not too keen on, to be honest. I'd rather us develop them and see them in our first team. But Poynton's a talent, and we've got to make the most of it. I don't want to see Hughes, try and protect him, or let's see him. Let's see him 90 minutes, pure raw talent, and see what he can do on a week in, week out basis, because this season could be an exceptional season for him if he keeps his head down and if he keeps producing what his talent could be. It could be extremely exciting as a City fan to see someone like that come through. So I want Hughes to have the trust in him, because I don't think he will have trust in many youth players, because the ones he signed, he don't even have trust in. I mean, Jake Young got 2 goals. I think that's 3 for Jake Young. It might even be 4 in 3. He's had a great start, Swindon. And, Odesina's going to go out on loan. Ryan East has gone to Rochdale. If you can't have trust on your own signings, you're not going to have trust in our youth academy, are you? But let me know your thoughts on Stephen Rupp in the comments down below. Let me know your thoughts on Ryan Sparks and Mark Hughes and some of our players that are so-called professionals. So let me know your thoughts on this performance, even if you never comment. But I do want to just quickly say this, because I almost forgot. Our fans were fantastic. From the first 20 minutes especially, people say, oh, you're just attendance number warriors, or, you just talk about attendance, but our atmosphere is electric when it can be. And, we're up against Derek Adams, and, the chants against him were brilliant, and the backing of the players were great in the first 20 minutes. Then we conceded, and it went all sour because of the performance on the pitch. And it's something that I've always, tried to find excuses for, but we've got to take it as what it is now. We perform week in, week out as fans. We always get behind the players. We always chant. We always sing our heads off. We back the players 100%. And, there's a bit of division sometimes. But let's be honest, the players in the last 6 years or so just haven't rose up to our expectations as fans and haven't responded to our great atmospheres, because we are an exceptionally unique, great fan base that a lot of fans, every fan in this division, no matter who they are, would wish to have us as fans. And the players never seem to appreciate what we do. Like the video if you did, subscribe if you're new. Another embarrassing defeat, but we move on to Saturday, and hopefully we can pick up our second win of the season. Have a good one.